I've missed you.
Oh my gosh, I've missed you too. I feel like I haven't talked to you in 1,000,000 years.
Yeah, it's inappropriate.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, I'm going to look older when you see me next time.
I'll be like, you're getting so tall.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Episode 287. Welcome, everyone. Sarah and I talked before the show for a minute, and we were saying how we're, like, in bad moods. So we're just going to, like, pretend to be happy, and then by the end, maybe we will be.
Yeah, because that's how it goes. You know, there was that study that was done, with all the facial expressions, and I think it was whether... emotions were universal, and they were studying like smiles and things like that, and whether the smiles on your face or like making a smile can improve your mood. So they did like tests of like test people's mood before, of course, like a pre-test and then a post-test. And all they had them do was hold a pencil in their teeth.
Yeah.
And if you hold a pencil in your teeth, it forces the edges of your mouth to go up in the smile, and people reported being happier afterwards. So maybe I just need to like bite a pencil for a bit.
You know what? That really is bonkers. And
isn't that freaking weird?
Yes, and it makes me mad because, like, you know how when men tell us to smile?
Oh my God, I didn't even put that together. Ew.
Like they're like it's totally not okay and gendered and gross, but maybe they're not wrong in their
maybe they're onto something. Yeah. Like, you can use a little
a little joy.
Biofeedback.
Is that what they call it?
Well, that's like when you watch your heart rate and those kind of things, and you're able to like identify what's going on in your body and feelings based on, what's happening in your body.
Yeah.
So like a lot of men and women have a hard time accessing certain emotions or even feeling like they're stressed or anxious or whatever. And so therapists will put a like biofeedback, like even just a heart rate monitor on both clients. And sometimes you'll see in arguments, like the man will look really calm, but his heart rate is through the roof. And the woman will be like really emotional and talking and like look really intense, but her heart rate is super low and calm.
That is crazy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of gives people insight of like, she's not freaking out. She's fine, but you actually are freaking out. And you need to get in touch with these feelings and this emotion because this is your body sending you a signal that something's happening.
Right. Like when men tell you to calm down and you're like, that is the last thing that will get me to calm down.
And you're like, I am calm.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. It's funny that this leads me to an article that I pulled up. I was just reading something in Psychology Today, which, take it or leave it. It's kind of like one of those pop psychology things, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's fun for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all about temper tantrums that kids throw. So we've seen like kids throwing temper tantrums a whole bunch and like, holidays, that's like what they do in all the stores and everything. And, they're saying that when the environment that we're in is really hyperstimulating, when there's a whole bunch of like stuff going on and noises and all like that kind of stuff, that we have less control of our behaviors at times when our own emotionality is like really high. So when we're in a place where, there's a lot of noise and you're like a kid who's used to not too much stimulation, but you're at a restaurant or you're at a store and there's a lot of noises and there's a lot of distractions and something external increases your level of stress. There's like a trigger, an external trigger. Like, for example, you'll see two little boys playing and it's like a really loud room, and then all of a sudden one boy who knows how to share will grab the toy from the other one, and not on normal, like in normal situations, this kid knows how to share. He'd be fine. But because he's in a really stimulating environment with a lot of noises and, maybe his parents are kind of far away and he's like feeling really stressed, he forgets all these behaviors that he knows like the right thing to do. That gets like tossed out the window. And you just act on like this primal, like, I want that toy. And then it causes your friend to burst into tears. And then that makes you more stressed. And then, it like creates this like snowball effect where one thing, you just being emotionally drained will lead to this like chain reaction. And we see it with parents when they get more stressed out and then the kid becomes even more enraged. And I mean, I felt like that. I'm like, oh my God, I can apply this, even though it's talking about kids and temper tantrums. I can apply this to times where I felt like, oh my God, I'm having a panic attack, or or when like stuff is going on with my family and I feel like I'm so raw and then I get in a fight with my husband, it like all makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anybody that couldn't relate to that concept. Like when we're at our worst, we usually can see external factors that are at play.
Yeah.
And I can't help, of course, but think about the challenge.
Oh my God. That is a really good point. Yep.
Because about
that's
being
why
out
everybody
of...
does that.
Yes. Like in addition to the being told to do things, basically, like being encouraged to be that way. It's also like you're out of control. It's bright. It's like Vegas. They don't turn the lights out, all that stuff.
Well, all of that play. Oh my gosh, with the light. I didn't even think about all that.
Yeah.
You really have to look at all that. And even just being monitored.
Yeah.
For 24 hours a day, like, oh, that does something to you.
Right.
Knowing that you're being watched and knowing that you're,
It's the exact environment that would trigger a tantrum, which is what they want.
And it's what they all get. Well, ends up, I mean, I've thrown one on there. We all have.
Absolutely.
Where you just see yourself and you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know that I could go to that place or react like that.
Right.
I didn't even know I had it in me. And I tell people like all the time that when you've never been pushed to an emotional edge, people are always surprised by how they react, but that's because we've never been in that emotional place before.
Yeah.
And the only thing that you can do is learn from, whatever you did wrong or maybe the things you did right and do those next time. But if it's the first time you've experienced something like that, it's like the first time you break up with somebody or the first time you, whatever it is, if it's a first, you just got to like pretty much say, who knows what'll happen in my emotional reaction. And hopefully I'll learn from this.
And you have no context for the best behaviors and reactions and stuff like that.
Yes.
That is really insightful. And why, I know that psychology today is like lighter than like scholarly articles, but why do people care? Like that annoys me that people would only want the dense stuff.
Oh yeah, I know. I think that it is kind of like, it reminds me of something like a cereal box reading. I don't know why that pops in my head, like where it's like fun and you can read it, but
I just think it's so good when scholarship can be accessible.
Yeah, I do too. I just remember talking about like an article I read in Psychology Today when I was in a classroom once, and they were like, well, that's like a pop psychology,
Yeah.
They basically told me that I can't cite it as a source.
Oh, really? But you can cite the things they cite.
Yes.
So that's a helpful tool to find
Yes,
studies, I think.
Totally. And then you can that's what you have to do is you have to do like the deep dive and you have to click on all the links and you have to look at their research and go deeper, because the author who wrote this one, there's a lot of links in this where you can look, it says like research into panic attacks says that, it's similar with the temper tantrum things. And then it has like the link you can click and then you could probably read that whole study and all that stuff. And I like that when it kind of gives you the option of the deep dive if you're into it.
Well, I remember when you were at my house last week, you wanted to do a deep dive into the Fabletics website because you were so obsessed with my pants.
Oh my God, I love them. I am obsessed with those. I mean, in all fairness, I'm obsessed with my clothes from Fabletics too. I got the really beautiful leggings that have the laser cut side with the pattern.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love them. They look so beautiful and they feel fabulous.
Yeah, they feel Fabletics.
Oh, fabulous. I get it now.
Yeah, she was over my house and like no matter what I would ask her, she kept answering with my leggings. Like I was like, Sarah, are you hungry? You want me to get you a snack? What are you in the mood for? And she goes, those pants.
Yep. I did.
They have so many great items though. Like I got lots of different things that what I love is that they can go from day to night and they're so comfortable and affordable. And we've actually been wearing Fabletics for years now. And you can sign up. You take a 60-second style pop quiz to get personalized outfit recommendations. They have thousands of styles. And you can check out as a guest or you can become a VIP. And the VIP perks. You get 50% off regular prices, free shipping, and additional perks, which is really cool. And right now, our audience can get 2 leggings for only $24.
Oh my gosh.
Which is a $99 value by using our special link. And I just want people to go to the website, have a look at these clothes, and see how high quality they are, but how affordable they are. It's so awesome. And let's see. Let me give you the code so you guys have it. It's fabletics.com/braincandy. That's fabletics.com/braincandy. And that's where you'll get those 2 pair of leggings that Sarah's obsessed with for $24. And it's a $99 value when you're going on there and signing up to be a VIP. And I
feel like it's even more than a $99 value because those pants, each pair feels like the kind that I would you'd normally spend $99 on.
Well, right.
At some fancy store.
Because there are some really high-end places that are so overpriced. And this is such a great option because it's the same quality but affordable and great for working out in activewear, but also just around the house. I keep posting selfies, the mirror selfies in these outfits because I'm like, dang, these are adorable and I can wear them anywhere. Mm-hmm. And they have high-waisted power hold.
Oh, yeah, I love those. That's what I have. Only the high-waisted power hold. I got them in leopard. I feel super fierce.
Did you get leopard?
Yes, purple leopard.
Why are you not showing me these?
Oh my God, I should.
I mean,
what am I doing? I'm wearing them every day, so.
Yeah, you need to get more into the selfie situation. I want some mirror selfies. Didn't you get a ring light for Christmas?
I sure did. I'm going to have to use that. I'm getting my hair done tomorrow, so then,
Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll see.
Then once the roots will be done, then it'll be all right. Picture central.
Sarah, I have to talk about this story. I'm sure you heard about it. I cannot deal with how upsetting it is.
What? Tell me.
The woman that was in a vegetative state.
Oh my God. And they found out she was pregnant?
Yeah, when she gave birth.
I'm getting chills. All I know is the headline that I saw Jemmy post, and she put something up on Twitter that was can you even fucking believe this? Sorry, Linda. She probably didn't say sorry, Linda, in her tweet, but I'm just adding that. But I don't even know the story. I just saw the headline. I'm I can't even get into that.
God.
I can't even open up that can of worms. Please tell me everything. Okay. I'm so excited.
Okay.
So terrified.
She was in the vegetative state, totally lights out for 14 years. And she is now 29. So she's been in this state since she was 15. And it was a swimming, drowning type of situation that put her in that state. And she was in her room and started moaning. And the staff came in and was like, what's the matter with her? And then realized she was giving birth.
They didn't notice her.
No. Sarah.
How do you not notice?
Right?
Her stomach is growing.
Well, that's what makes me wonder, not only about obviously she was raped, but
obviously.
So they're not taking care of her in that way, but obviously they're not giving her great care anyway if you don't notice that she's fucking pregnant.
I'm pretty sure if you have somebody in a vegetative state and your job is to take care of them, you should be looking at vital signs and all those kind of things,
well, hello,
regularly.
You'd hear 2 heartbeats.
Yes. A whole bunch of stuff. All the levels of everything in your body changes.
That is so true. The hell? Because your cholesterol changes, everything changes. You're
even
so
your
right.
Body temperature.
Yeah.
Your heartbeat, everything changes.
So she starts
you would
moaning.
Notice all that.
They come in and eventually realize she's delivering a baby, and they, take the baby, and then now they're doing DNA testing, and they're testing all of the male staff to see who did it.
This is straight out of Law and Order SVU.
Oh yeah, I mean, and
this is this. There was a episode where this happened.
What did you just say?
There was an episode of Law and Order SVU where this happened, where somebody who was a hospital worker was raping the patients who were
Well, it's
in
not.
vegetative states.
It's not uncommon for this to happen amongst the elderly, people with dementia, because they can't report, and everyone thinks they're crazy, which is absolutely tragic. But they can't get pregnant, and this woman is young enough where she could get pregnant, and for some reason they know that she had been repeatedly raped. I don't know how they know that.
Well, I would imagine trauma to the vaginal area, pelvic trauma. That you could see it, that you can see rips and tears when it's not consensual.
Right.
And when she's not able, like, oh, yep, they definitely saw that. Could you?
No.
Could you even?
I can't quit thinking about it. And
I can't with that.
The family is going to take care of this baby, but, and I can't imagine what they must feel knowing not only that their daughter was raped, but they're going to have to raise the baby of the rapist.
Oh my God.
It's just beyond.
They need a lot of therapy, and you got to put a real positive spin on that, where you got to do like a whole life version
mental
of holding
jumping
a pencil in
jacks.
your mouth.
Yeah.
Like you got to say, this is, we in a way lost our daughter that day, but we now have this life, and we are going to let her live on through whatever, and make sure that it's, you got to. What else can you do?
Well, they did put out a statement, and they said they're not emotionally ready to discuss, but they wanted people to know that this child would have a loving home. And I really would commend them, because I cannot even imagine how much rage I would have.
No, I'd be so, oh my God. Well, I'd sue the fuck out of that hospital.
Yeah, they're doomed, but...
doomed. Put them under. And you know what? Rightfully so, because if you're not, everybody is in trouble. I'm mad at everybody across the board. The hospital, the employees, the people who are the, managers of those employees who should be doing that, who should be checking up, anybody who's security there, the whole thing.
But tell me this, why is it the case, do you think, that they don't have security cameras?
That's why I'm saying I'm mad at everybody.
Yeah.
Because you should.
But I don't think most of them do, and I don't know if it's like a privacy HIPAA thing or what. But they have them in hospitals, right?
Yeah, but at least maybe there's laws, like HIPAA laws, about not having it in the room.
Well, yeah, but you could watch
who goes in. You can have it right
in.
outside the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would just keep all those videos and say, especially when you're dealing with people who are in vegetative states and they are a population that does get taken advantage of, I would imagine.
Oh, my God. But... Okay, look, you guys know that I talk to a lot of sociopaths for my research.
Yeah.
A lot of it, I get how you could murder somebody, like if you get mad enough or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't get how you could do this.
I don't either. It's
beyond. But one thing that I've
really
been thinking about a lot is how... Like we mentioned on another episode, like how weak the human mind is, and how we like to imagine that who we are is who we are. And I am a nice person and I would never do such and such. Well, I don't think that's true of anybody. I think we're all vulnerable to these terrible things that we think we're not vulnerable to.
Really?
I don't want to believe that, but I'm thinking that the more I study these people that make these choices, the more I think, wow, we're all two bad decisions away from just ruining our lives.
Oh,
Tell me if you disagree.
I do, with the violence.
With the violence.
I do think that, I don't know. Oh, that's a really tough one.
Because when
I just have such immense guilt even after I kill a bug that I'm like...
right, maybe it's just me. I'm a total psychopath. Well, it's just that when I watch the interviews of the people that I write to, I see these interviews that they've done. Many of them I can relate to. I see something in them that I'm like, wow, they're human just like me, or they, Yeah. And so I'm not far away from where I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think about it, same as kind of we were talking about the temper tantrums. And if you strip somebody down of all of their emotional defenses and you put them in a very, a lot of time, I think when people react like that, they really feel like they're backed into a corner. It's like, a caged animal kind of thing, and they just flip out. If you have tools and if you have resources and if you have
exactly
all those things at your disposal and you've set those up, whatever they may be, it could be relationships, it could be, who knows, whatever it is, that those are the things that you can kind of turn to. And the unfortunate thing is sometimes they're maladaptive coping mechanisms that we've developed from when we were younger to survive. And it worked when we were younger, but it doesn't work as much when we're older.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever was developed, modeled for us, and then we developed as coping mechanisms when we were younger. So if you look at a child who, grew up and was, physically abused, then I do see that, like I can see that because it's like been modeled, and when they're backed into a corner, their survival, response is one of like fighting back with violence.
Yeah. And
then there are people who, choose drugs and alcohol. There are people who choose hurting themselves. Like whatever it is whatever that coping mechanism is gets kind of like locked in there. And I don't think somebody who had healthy ones like, when I'm really mad, I go for a run. I don't think that person then is one day going to like, shoot up their place of employment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fascinating thing, and I think about it a lot, and I do go back and forth, but I like having the conversation.
Yeah. And it's one of those when like thoughts becomes obsessions, then so it's like whatever what you feed is what will maintain and grow, So if you get that thought gets planted in your mind, and then you keep feeding that thought, and then that becomes an obsession, then that obsession takes over and it becomes like your only way of thinking, and that, yada, yada, yada.
Well, one thing I'm obsessed with is the Ring security camera and floodlight.
That's a way to stay safe.
Yeah, and protect yourself from violence. So I cannot wait to talk about the story about the doorbell licker, but...
What?
Wait. Okay. But I'm so excited about these devices because not only do they protect you and you can see who's at your door and you can see activity that's going on outside of your house or who delivers a package or steals a package, but they also provide hilarious footage in the form of doorbell lickers, as I will talk about in a minute. But basically, Ring helps you stay connected to your home anywhere in the world. So if there's a package delivery or a surprise visitor, you get an alert and you're able to see, hear, and speak to them from your phone, which is so cool. We have one out side of our house, and we can communicate with people without having to go to the door if we're out or if we're in and we can't make it. And as a listener, you have a special offer for a Ring starter kit available right now. You guys have to get this. With a video doorbell and motion-activated floodlight cam, the starter kit has everything you need to start building a ring of security around your home. Just go to ring.com/braincandy. That's ring.com/braincandy. Let me tell you about the doorbell licker.
Oh, my God. This is insane.
Sarah.
Yes.
There is this guy who went up to these strangers' house. Not only did he lick their doorbell, but he did it for 3 hours.
What?
Just sat there licking the doorbell.
Okay.
What is that about? Tell me.
What is that?
And, like, at first I was like, well, it's a fetish, but, like, you'd finish before 3 hours.
No. Yeah, well.
Right?
Oh, my gosh. Wait, okay.
And obviously they got the footage, so there's just, like, his face licking the doorbell on this camera.
So have you seen any, like, video of this? Like, you've seen it, right? Does he look...
I didn't watch a video. I just saw a still of it.
Okay. What does he look like?
He's like a white guy with a mustache, like, skinny... like maybe 30 years old or something.
Okay.
Sort of a regular white guy.
What? I'm trying to even think about what...
in the world.
Oh my God, I just looked at the picture of it. Yeah. Okay.
What do you got?
What if I mean, my first instinct is to say this is like drug induced.
Okay. Yeah.
That there's something that he took
Okay.
that has made, because now looking at the picture, he kind of looks a little messed up. Oh yeah, he looks fucked up. Okay, he's on something.
What would make you do that?
The really creepy part is that he stares at the camera the whole time, like as he's licking it, like, oh my god. What I'm like.
I
super
love how
creeped out
into
by
this you are.
Because it, like, I can't imagine what that would be. What that I mean, it's like my instinct is to say that there's some sort of substance in his body that is making. I mean, weird people are doing. Remember when we talked about the people who were like smoking or ingesting embalming fluid?
Yes.
And like, who knows what the hell people are doing and what's out there? And like, there was all that bath salt stuff that made people go crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the fact that he was there for 3 hours says that it kind of puts it into like I don't know. It's weird. Like some sort of.
So you don't think it's a like sexual thing?
No.
Interesting.
Because I feel like if it were sexual, then he would like simultaneously be masturbating or something.
Right, but I didn't watch the video. I guess they would have mentioned that in the article, but the parents weren't home. The kids were inside asleep. I don't know how old they are, but I mean, can you imagine?
No.
I said that to Adam because we have the Ring, security camera, and I said, "What would you do if you saw somebody doing that?" And he's like, well, I'd call the cops. And I'm like, wait, but like that's terrifying. Even though he didn't have a weapon, didn't do anything. To me, that's so freaky. Yeah. It's an odd invasion of privacy and like violation of. Absolutely.
A bunch of stuff.
Right, a bunch of
like
stuff.
Like everything.
I mean, I thought for sure you would have heard about this because you always like seem to know these weird crimes people do.
No, I mean, I didn't know about this one. This one is.
Do you think this is weirder or the pooper attendant and the mad pooper?
This is weirder.
Yeah. Why?
Because that one there's a like a revenge thing in there. There's like there's an intention. Like he was mad about something.
The pooper attendant. But what about the mad pooper who just poops in people's yard?
Well, again, I think it's IBS. I'm sticking with that.
It's so stupid.
I'm going like, hey, I've been there.
So the thing
I've had
with the poop is that they have to poop anyway, whereas you don't normally lick a doorbell.
Correct.
Yeah, I get that. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Wow, we really unpacked that one.
Sure did. So speaking of giving people a taste of their own medicine or like revenge and stuff like that,
yeah.
I found this whole article on whether giving somebody a taste of their own medicine is effective or not.
Oh.
What do you think?
Let's see. Giving someone a taste.
So like somebody wrong. So first of all, what that whole, where that, what do they call it? Idiom?
Okay.
Where that expression comes from is from an Aesop fable story about a man who's coming to a village and he's selling this like, snake oil magical cure-all miracle drug, and everybody's like, oh my God, I'm taking it, I'll take it. And he sells out of it and tricks everybody in the village. Well, then he gets sick himself. And so they're like, I know, we'll cure him with his medicine. And so they give him the medicine, and of course it doesn't work. And so it's like a taste of your own medicine. And that's kind of where that came from, which I thought was kind of a cool story.
Well, I'll tell you what is a good taste of medicine is ritual vitamin.
Perfect.
Perfect. I just had to interrupt to tell this because it was like the perfect segue, and you know how I love those.
Yeah. Yes.
Here's a good idea for a New Year's resolution, which is to get healthier, but do it like super easy and tasty way, which is ritual vitamins. Because 80% of us are going to fail at our resolution, so we might as well do something that's like easy to do. And we're not getting the vitamins we need, and that's why ritual is so cool because it fills in those gaps that you're missing from your diet. And they basically reimagined the multivitamin. So they're just giving you those essential vitamins for women that we all need and want, but with a minty flavor and no fishy aftertaste. And it doesn't make you nauseous, which a lot of them do for me, which is why I never took them until now. And it's delivered straight to your door. It gives you an email when it's about to be sent. If you want to snooze it or, change the date or whatever, you can do that. It's super easy. And better health doesn't happen overnight. So start your year with Essential for Women, a small step that helps create a healthy foundation for 2019 and beyond. Visit ritual.com/braincandy to start your ritual today. That's ritual.com/braincandy. And they also have a prenatal now. And
I love that.
Yeah, I love it too. So give that a try.
I mean, I've never been more consistent in taking anything.
Too.
Like, I take it every day.
I know. I never have done that.
And then I have one pill that I have that tastes awful. So I take it with that, and I don't taste it.
Oh, I love that.
Like
That's
perfect.
a good idea.
Yeah. Because I was like, ugh, that's Mucinex for the record.
Oh, okay.
I hate that shit. That tastes terrible.
And now,
but not with my ritual vitamins.
And now we'll go back to talking about revenge.
Okay. There's a whole bunch, but then there's also, of course, a whole bunch of writing. Like Confucius says something about, like, if you're going to, like, start digging 2 graves, if you're going to, like, enact revenge on somebody and one of the graves is your own, or like an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind, or things like that. But what do you think about that whole, not necessarily revenge,
I would
but
have thought that would teach them a lesson.
That, well, and one thing that there was a researcher, a Swedish psychologist, I think it was, who said that, it was a really good quote. It was something along the lines of, like, when you give somebody a taste of their own medicine, you usually administer a stronger and larger dose.
That's
which I was like, ooh,
that makes sense.
Good.
Right.
Yep. When your motive isn't like tit for tat, but it's to teach them something that you think is essential for them to grasp, then it's better to be more assertive with them, and you can teach them these lessons and, like, make it more obvious about how you got hurt, and sometimes showing them. And it's easy if it's something really simple. Like, one of the examples that they give is a person who's consistently late. So if you have somebody who's always late but then doesn't even understand, like, why that's a problem, that you can return the favor by being late to something for them. And if they get upset about it, then you can use this as a way to kind of be like, oh, it seems like you don't like it when somebody's late. I felt the same when you did this. And that's like a fair one because there's a lesson in there. But they also say in this article that be prepared that if you try to give them the same back and they don't think it's a big deal, then you just can expect that you're going to get that behavior from them forever.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
And then you can kind of look at, like,
late people never care when other people are late.
They don't.
Right.
So why on earth would they care when they're late,
Right.
Yeah.
They're just practicing the golden rule.
Totally, right?
Yeah.
And, so then they also give the example, like, if you, like, people who, if they've left you alone when you've been really hurt before, even though they've told you, like, you've told them, like, I really need you, then try not being there for them if they need you. And there's a great quote that they had in there that said, if your absence doesn't affect them, your presence never mattered.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, ooh,
that's
a
real
good one.
That is so
right?
sad.
I know. And then I'm thinking, like, man, that is true. Like, if you're gone and it doesn't matter to them, then you being there really never matters.
That sucks.
I know. But then I'm like, oh my God, I'm always so sad if when people are not there. So clearly the people in my life, their presence did really matter.
Well, I just was talking to you about my friend who ghosted me, and, like, that is so true of her clearly. Like,
that's what I was thinking about as I read this article.
There's no void there for her for whatever reason, whether, she didn't think I was a good friend or it's just, whatever. You never know what it is. It's kind of like that book, He's Just Not That Into You. It's not even about you necessarily.
It's totally not.
You have no idea what's in their head.
Yeah.
But it's hard, like, the pill to swallow.
Yep. And the last, like, the real important takeaway is from the whole article is that it's a lot smarter to find ways to reconcile within yourself the emotional or, material disturbances they, did to you than it is to try to, enact revenge.
Yeah.
And the best thing to do is to tactfully set limits and boundaries on their behaviors so that, you can point it out when it gets worse, and then you can say, this isn't something I want, and, kind of make it more teachable than it is like an eye for an eye.
All right. Well, that's actually really good advice.
Yeah. Like, make sure that if you're going to do it, it's with the intention of, like, is this a teachable lesson? Because if it's not, it's only going to lead to more frustration. And it's kind of like that tantrum thing where you're only, like, re-victimizing yourself. So you're like, man, they didn't react how I wanted. And now you've, gone to all this energy to try to do something to, just be prepared for the backlash, I guess. But I thought it was an interesting article, and I'll put it in the newsletter because it's a good one. It's a good read.
Yes, you can sign up for our newsletter at thebraincandypodcast.com. And we send like one a week, and we don't spam you or anything. It's just like the links from the episodes.
Pictures of people licking doorbells and exciting stuff like that.
Right. I have a funny story actually about we were talking the other day about wikifeet,
Yes.
Speaking of like kinky stuff. And that, the new Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh, boy, do I.
She's fantastic, but the
best.
Her enemies, are always trying to pile on her, and they made this fake nude picture of her. Mm-hmm. And
I just read this morning.
Did you see how it was undone? The reason they found out it wasn't her?
No.
Wasn't
it something to do with Anthony Weiner's?
No, the way that they found out it was not her. Well, yes, the woman that it actually is was doing sexting stuff with Anthony Weiner, but the way that they found out it wasn't her was that the people at wikifeet realized that they were
my God!
They weren't her feet.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
And apparently I got some insight because how we were like, who runs this account?
Oh my God, I love this. I'm getting chills.
There's a whole group, a collective of people who curate the images for wikifeet, which is a foot fetish website. And Sarah and I are both featured prominently on wikifeet. Mm-hmm. And the person was like, they know all the technical terms for the various ways that feet can have defects and weirdnesses. They'll be like, well, she doesn't have fasciitis plantitis or whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And that's how they realized this is not Alexandria, because they compared it with a picture of her in sandals.
This is amazing.
Hilarious.
I love every part of this story.
They're doing God's work, the wikifeet
really
people.
And I could just imagine you have the room full of, in my mind how I see this is like the room full of nerdy scientists, and with when it's anything else that they're discovering or one person has information, he's the guy with the glasses, and he steps up and he pushes them from the bridge of his nose. He's actually the facts say da da da, and it's usually about something turtles or whales or environmental stuff, and this guy's the foot guy who's actually that's not her foot because it doesn't have an arch on the third blah 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 blah, and the fifth metatarsal isn't, and it's
yes.
This guy, it's his moment to shine. Where he's like, yes,
finally,
I get to use my powers for good.
Right. I love it.
Oh, I love it.
And I just was fascinated by this community of people who are so passionate about feet that they can actually identify. It's like a foot lineup.
God bless them.
Yeah. It's harmless.
Yeah, totally harmless. Go ahead.
The only objection that really I have is that a lot of the pictures they put up of me from my Instagram include my son because we swim together in our pool, and that's weird.
That's weird. Yeah, that's weird.
But do you think that there are people that just really love feet and it's not sexual?
Yeah. It's hard for me to think that it's not sexual.
That's a stretch.
Only because I heard, and I have absolutely zero articles or scientific journals to back this up. Right. This is just something that Sarah heard on the street. But that the area of your brain where sexual impulses and sexual drive and fantasy and all that stuff comes from, it happens to be located very close to the center for your feet, the nervous center, or where that, I don't know, the hub for that information is. Mm-hmm. And that because of their close range, or their
proximity,
where they are. Yeah, proximity. That is the exact word I was looking for. Because of their proximity, that firing often gets mixed up, and those wires kind of get crossed, and that's why that is like the most popular, or one of the most popular fetishes.
Right. I mean, we've had theories about this. Like, I think I told you how somebody that I know has a foot fetish, and the wife was like, it's like having like 5 little vaginas on, But I was like, wait, they're more like wieners than vaginas.
Unless you're going like in between each one, and like that feels really good. Because I do like some toe action.
Yeah. I get that.
I'm into it.
Yeah. I just don't
clean,
get the fixation.
And I don't want to do it to somebody. Let me make that very clear. This isn't something I'm going to do to anybody. This is getting done to me.
Like, what do you want done to you? Oh, with the penis on your toes?
No, like you can just lick them or suck them or do something like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I don't want any, like, you don't need, no, that's weird. So, that seems pointless.
And you're not going to put your feet into.
No.
Or, I'm sorry,
absolutely
his feet.
Not.
Okay, got it.
No. That really grosses me out. No.
Well, I mean, to each their own.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. Okay. Right. To each their own. Hey, you can put it wherever you want, whatever you want to do, as long as it's consensual, people.
What doesn't gross me out is really beautiful, clean, lovely luxury sheets from Brooklinen.
If you're going to be getting down with some toe action, it's nice to do it on some fancy sheets.
Toe action.
Make it a real luxurious experience all around.
Brooklinen is amazing, and it's a new year. Why not get some new sheets? You spend a third of your life in them or more if you're like anyone on the challenge. And so it's like new year, new you, new sheets is what I'm saying. These are like 5-star hotel sheets, but they've cut out the middleman, so they aren't as expensive. They're affordable, and they were voted best of online bedding category by Good Housekeeping. So don't just take my word for it. And they work with the manufacturers to pass on the savings to you. And, like, I just feel like they keep getting better the more I wash them, which never happens, and the colors don't fade. Plus, you can mix and match them. They don't come all as sets. You can buy them individually, so you can have funky patterns with each other, which is cool. And, by the way, they make robes now, which I didn't know. I love a robe. I love a robe.
Yes.
Our Brooklinen sheets are the best, most comfortable sheets we've ever slept on, and it's your time for an upgrade. Brooklinen.com is giving an exclusive offer just for our listeners. Get $20 off and free shipping when you use promo code BRAIN at Brooklinen.com. Brooklinen is so confident in their products that all their sheets, comforters, and towels come with a lifetime warranty. The only way to get $20 off and free shipping is to use promo code BRAIN at Brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com. Promo code BRAIN. Brooklinen are the best sheets ever. Toe action. I keep thinking about that. What else? I have so many things to talk to you about.
Oh, you know what I have to say real quick? Maybe not real quick. But remember when we were talking about ninja stars and nunchucks the other day?
Yeah. How could I forget?
How can you forget? Well, I didn't want to just dive in and steal your story right there, but I have an insane story about ninja stars.
Wait, did you have it at the time and like held back?
Yes.
What?
Because I was like, Susie's going to think that I'm making this up because I really do have a story for everything.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so I have a good friend who's a firefighter who works in Las Vegas. And he works for the station that's like serves the Las Vegas Strip. And he got a call once that said traumatic eye injury or traumatic facial injury or something like that and had no idea what it was.
Right.
So he gets to the scene, and what had happened was a Cirque du Soleil performer was done with their show and partying and was in his hotel room and did a bunch of drugs. I don't know what he did, but he did drugs and thought it would be a good idea to sharpen his ninja stars while he was all hopped up on whatever he was hopped up on. And so he was using an electric rotor, like sander, like an electric metal file to sharpen his ninja stars. It slipped and the electric rotor went straight into his eyeball. Gone. You're a Cirque du Soleil performer. Your career, done. You just ruined, everything's done. Your whole everything. Start over. Start from scratch. That's it.
So to speak.
With an eye patch.
Are you kidding me?
My friend said it was one of the most gruesome, disgusting things he had ever seen.
Was the guy awake at the,
Yeah, totally. Because he was all hopped up on drugs, too, so he was freaking out.
Oh,
and
my God.
Had a like metal, like a sander, rotary sander, whatever you call, like one of those little things in his eyeball. I don't even know how that accident happens, but holy shit.
Whoa, that is terrible. Wait, so you're telling me
Firefighter Stories.
They
always have good ones.
This person was, did you say sharpening it?
Yes.
What?
So they're like these little, like electric, they're like sanders that spin.
Yeah.
And they have a end that will start. So he was like going around the edges of his eye. Who knows how?
I mean, how often do you need to be using a Ninja Star for it to need to be sharpened?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
That was like, he's like, I know what to do. I'll sharpen my Ninja Stars right now. You know?
I mean,
clearly an upper.
And so this guy is survived.
Yes.
Oh, God.
But his eye did not.
He's eyeless.
He is,
Or just blind.
One eye.
Right. He's Cyclops.
Yeah,
oh my God, that is terrifying.
So I as soon as we finished that episode, I was like,
to
my Apple Watch, hey Siri, set a reminder to tell Ninja Star story in approximately 1 week.
No,
not now, Siri. Shush. Shush. I was using that as an example.
Just you bringing up firefighter stories. I was reading an article in the New York Times this week about a guy who did not evacuate from the Paradise, California fires, and he survived. But the article was really moving because he was so grateful to the people that went door to door to check for anybody that had died or whatever, and they would give him food and water. And it actually made me tear up because when you hear about people who, even during this government shutdown, the people that keep doing their job even though they're not getting paid, it really warms my heart and makes me emotional because those people, you talked about the firefighters that battled those fires in California and just how hard they work and how, they're risking their life. And, I know it's their job and everything, but it's just amazing.
Oh, yeah, it really is. Anybody who's willing to, do any of that kind of stuff and sacrifice like that.
I know a lot of them really enjoy it, which is so great that you could enjoy something that's so scary and help people. But the article was really fascinating because, first of all, just thinking about the guy that stayed, he was told to evacuate, and then he stayed because he had a bunch of pets, and he knew he couldn't get them all out, and he didn't have a car that was working, and so what's crazy is everything was burnt to the ground around him, and his house did not get any fire at all. Well, he said that he used his hose and he sprayed his roof so that it was wet. And then anytime he saw a burning ember in his yard, he would just step on it. And it really made me wonder. Is there a way that you could actually protect your house? I mean, it seems really stupid because people died that stayed. So he's lucky.
I think you couldn't, it's not, he's very lucky. It's not, in my mind, not worth taking the risk. But it's the problem and why it was so scary especially with that fire was that and this is usually with any big fire that takes off, is that the wind is blowing in the same direction that the fire is traveling. So the first thing that happens is the wind blows the embers forward. And so the embers basically they begin
kindle.
They start the process. And then when the fire comes along, it just is already at that point of, combustion, where it's just going to all catch and catch on fire. And it's so unstoppable. And the speed at which that fire moves is, it's isn't it like a football field in a matter of like minutes or seconds?
Yeah.
And it's I think seconds too. And it would be too difficult to, stop that if you had, he's stomping out his embers, but like, one over there, and it's like that whack-a-mole thing.
Yeah. And he acknowledges that he got
so
lucky. But I also think him being there and being able to stop things before they started was probably helpful.
Yeah, of course.
But the article said this just really goes to show the unpredictable nature of both fire and the people. Like the fact that he stayed, and then also that the fire can't be predicted and you never know what's going to happen. But it was really fascinating.
So scary.
It is.
Yeah.
And God bless all those people that went door to door and helped the survivors and, find the bodies and things like that.
Oh, and all the animals. Did you ever see that one video? It was from a California fire, I want to say like last year, of the guy who ran into the fire to save the bunny.
No. Oh, yes.
It's the sweetest. And he's like, oh my God. What do I do? And he's like jumping up and down and just like runs in. Oh, that like touched my heart.
Yeah.
Like you could just see this guy was like panicking for that little bunny.
But like, don't you think it's stupid?
No.
Oh,
I would do that.
Risking your life for a bunny though? Come on.
Well, I don't think I think what he knew that he could like get in and get out. Like,
yeah.
I think like it's like oh my god, do I do it? And he just like went for it at the right time.
That's what my husband would do for sure.
I would do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, you guys are the same. We all know that.
That is true. Yes, that is true. Yeah. And you and Landon would be like, fuck it, we're out of here.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. Save yourselves.
Well,
there are more rabbits. They breed like rabbits, so we're fine.
I don't have a segue about breeding into Stamps.com, but I will say that Stamps.com is amazing, and breeding is as well.
There you go. There's your link.
If you want a New Year's resolution you can actually keep, then I would say stop going to the post office to send letters and packages when you don't have to. Save time and money by using Stamps.com instead. That's what we do. We ship all of our pins and things like that with Stamps.com, which means we just print out the postage right here from our studio, and then I put it in the mailbox. The mail carrier takes it. It's fast, convenient, saves me money on the postage rates. This is what I used to think when they first came out with Stamps.com. I was like, I don't know. It can't be worth it. I don't get it. And then once I tried it, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I haven't been doing this. And there's no equipment to lease or anything and no long-term commitments. We use Stamps.com because it's so easy and it saves us. And right now you can enjoy the Stamps.com service with a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus postage and a digital scale. So start the new year off right. Go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in Brain Candy. That's Stamps.com and enter Brain Candy. I wanted to say, though, that on the subject of like animals and saving them versus, killing them, there was, there was a great op-ed in the New York Times that was, I think the title was, "Is there a humane way to free a mouse or to catch a mouse?" And let's say you had a mouse in your house. And I know it's funny every time. And you wanted to get rid of it. What would your technique be?
Well, I hear the most humane way is just the trap that snaps them in half.
Right. That's what we had talked about that recently about the invention of the mouse trap.
I heard that from you.
Yeah. Because it's instant.
But I ain't dealing with that shit afterwards. Oh, hell no.
That shit.
No, I'm not. No, because that image, I can picture it right now. Will live on in my mind forever, and I could not see that. It would break my heart. It's a surprise I'm not a vegetarian, really.
Yeah,
because this is like misery to me, even thinking about a poor little mouse dying. So I had a mouse in my house. That is like my favorite thing to say, by the way. It's like the cutest. I don't know why. That's just a cute rhyming word. Oh, gosh. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever had mice. God, knock on wood.
Yeah, right. You just had those little
bugs. That's like the last thing you want.
Well,
but
the person that wrote the article had moved into a house and there was a smell, and she went under her sink and found one of those glue traps where, the mouse is alive and then steps on it and then basically can't move.
No.
Yes.
No.
And she was like, well, that is terrible. Like even on the packaging, it says like, this is not humane. That mouse will be caught alive and then we'll just sit there and die. And then she thought, well, wonder what is humane? Like, okay, the trap is instantaneous, but you're breaking their neck or yeah. And then there's the poison, which they eat and then take back to their little nest and die. Mm-hmm. And then there's these ones where you catch them and then you can release them. But like the cashier at the hardware store was like, well, your house is their house. So if you take them somewhere else, you're like taking them from their home. So is that humane?
Well, I mean, I think they can relocate. They're not like attached to the neighborhood.
Well, and they usually come back though, so they tell you to take them at least 3 miles away. That's the thing that I would worry about.
Yeah,
that's the thing I would. It's the returning. What I thought you were saying by your house is their house is that the same way you come home, they're going to come home.
Well, they will. Like if you don't go far enough away, they just come right back.
Oh God, you might as well just put out some cheese and call them a roommate.
Well, yeah, but their poop is the problem, really.
Of course, everything's the problem, and when you see one, there's like a million.
Yeah.
And I heard from someone, where did I read this? I don't know where I heard this, but that if you ever see a mouse that's like running circles around a room or doing like that really darty, kind of like skittish behavior, that mice don't do that. Naturally, like mice don't run into the middle of a room or like that. When you see a mouse who has that, they have a disease that they caught from a cat. There's like what is it? It's like a brain abnormality that is the same thing that
my God,
women get when they're pregnant.
Yeah, the crazy cat lady thing.
Yes, it's the parasite thing.
Yes,
that's what that's mice who have that are that. Yes, mice who do that have that.
And so it's like dementia, but for mice.
Yeah. It's like a parasite on the brain or something. There's something like that happens. And it's the same reason why pregnant women can't go near
cat litter.
Poop. Cat litter.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it
weird?
The pee that is the problem or the litter? It's the pee, right?
I think it's no, I thought it was the feces.
The litter. Oh, it's the poop.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
I think. I mean, what the heck do I know? I don't know. All I know is like they say stay away from the litter box, which would mean that it's the,
I think
I don't know, actually.
You know how we always talk about doing a spin-off of like shit we got wrong?
Yeah.
I want to do. We should call. This will be episode 1. No, I want to call it. What the heck do I know? What do I know?
Yeah. What the heck do I know? I mean, what do I know?
Because that's what we always say. Like we just make these grand statements and then say we have no idea.
Yeah, right. We're like, well, but I have no facts to back this up or whatever.
When I was at the meetup and I was talking to the emergency room doctor lady that was there, I was just like, she's like, I love when you guys talk about medical stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, I am horrified just thinking that she heard us talk about medicine.
Oh, that's funny.
Because what do we know?
What do we know? Nothing. I mean, don't even take my advice on like, psychological, like barely. I mean, I still haven't graduated. Barely. I'm not licensed. Let me put that out there.
Well, that's why on Cheers, Frasier is my favorite because he's a brilliant psychiatrist, but like always on the edge of madness.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, that's like where they live.
And that's kind of what I was getting at about like the evil sociopath thing is that like we're all on the edge of madness in a way. Like life is so hard that you think like I would never do such and such, but like you don't know because you don't have the same circumstances as that person. That's all I'm saying about that.
Yes. Okay. That's a really good way to put it, that you don't have the same circumstances. And if the circumstances were the same and the resources were the same or lacking, then yeah, maybe.
Well, because we like to frame it as like, you're somehow morally superior to this other person, but the context is different. A lot of them have been abused, these people that do terrible things. Yeah. And all have had trauma. And some people deal with trauma better than others and blah, 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 blah. What am I'm preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
mean, we get it, Suze.
It's all true. And I agree.
But before we go, I wanted to tell people to leave us a 5-star review.
Yes.
And
stay away from ninja stars and sharpening equipment.
Yes. And what else? And if you catch a mouse, just take it 3 miles away. And if you take a picture of your feet, make sure that you put it on wikifeet.
Yep. So then nobody confuses your feet with somebody else's fake naked photo.
I thought it was funny when people kept posting about the doorbell licker and were saying like, and he, area man still can't find the clit, and how like, even after 3 hours.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
Like, it's just so true that you just when you look at the picture of him doing that, that's why I kept saying, are you sure this isn't sexual? Because it just obviously rings.
Oh my God, it's
that
so
way.
funny. That is, and the first thing that comes to my mind is that he just looked in and was like, mine.
Gross.
Kindergarten rules.
Well, the family said like they're actually really been good sports about it, and they're like, well, but they haven't caught the guy, and they have his picture and everything. But anyway, they were like, yeah, we did clean off our doorbell. I should hope so.
Or just put up a sign that says most delicious doorbell in the state. First 5 minutes free. Anything after that, $5 an hour or whatever.
So eventually they're going to catch him. I want to know, because you're so good at predicting things. What do you predict is like you said drugs, but like how do you think he chose their home? Just he was there.
I think that, yes. I think it was a matter of,
opportunity.
Again, proximity and opportunity. And that he probably, maybe their house is near a park where he bought the drugs, did the drugs, and then went around and did that.
Yeah. Okay. Because you're always right. We're going to find out this is all.
Ooh, I can't wait. Ooh, let's see if she's right.
All right. Till next time, everybody. Bye.